Boo choo, pow 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 pow, ping ping, woo woo woo. This is a very special edition of the Kinda Nerdy Girls podcast. Choo choo choo. It is KJ joining me, Kitsie Duncan from Oddity Files, the TV show. Producer Jana is here, and also live from her home in Canada, actress Hallea Jones from Locke and Key.
I love your short hair. You're killing it. You've got this 1970s, I am the woman vibe going on.
That is exactly what I'm going for. Honestly, when I cut them, I was just like, this is so much more me. And the long hair, I think for so long, I had this idea that with acting, it's better to have long hair so they can do what they want. But at the same time, I'm going to be me. And then if they want long hair, there's thing called extensions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like it too. I love the 70s look to it. And I feel like it's really made more sense for me. So, I mean, I can't put it up into like crazy buns like I used to, but I can try.
You do a cute little pigtail on top that's all spiky. That'd be cute.
I've been doing space buns too because it's much easier to do like the things like up here.
Yeah.
My parents are like, "What is on your head?" I don't have much hair, so they're not big. They're like little tiny things on my head, and I look like little devil horns or something. But
it's your version of Princess Leia, which I dig.
Yes.
There we go. There's always a bright side of everything.
Yeah. Exactly. So what do you geek out over?
Oh my goodness. What do I geek out over?
It can be music. It can be, everybody's
you've got this incredible career because you've got Locke and Key and your acting career going, and you've got your music career going, and is there time to be a nerd in between there?
I mean, I will be honest right now. I geek out over music. Good. In lack of a better term. I really laser focus in on music and just kind of like breaking down lyric structures and learning a new instrument or getting better at the instruments I do know, which is piano and guitar is something that I geeked out on really hard over the past 2 years because I was invited to this open mic. I hadn't been doing music for a very long time. I was the rebellious child of my whole family's musical, so I'm gonna not, I don't know. And I was invited to this open mic. I tried to get out there and play like Hey Jude or something. Didn't know any chords. And the community at this place was like, try it, like keep going. And they got up and played with me. And so every Monday I kept on going back and I would write songs and get better at guitar. And so music is my geeking out. That's what I spend hours on. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been reconnecting with music. That actually, I mean, Hallea, that was kind of where I got into this world. Was I grew up in a super small town and I loved music so much, and the only way that I could be any part of the music world was to go to our tiny little radio station and be a DJ. And then as I got into more talk format and I got away from music, I didn't realize how much I missed it. And it's been like one of the things in quarantine that I've been like, man, I forgot how happy, what a happy space it is to be in when you're just listening to music that you love, right?
Active listening is a huge thing that I think a lot of people bypass because there's so much going on in life all the time. And they just have it on in the background while they're doing whatever. And something that I've been doing a lot of is just like putting in, I'm talking like I have a record player right now. Putting on,
or a tape player.
Yeah. But I'll put on an album and listen from start to finish with headphones on and just really focus in on like, there's more to it than just the singles and the background music and just the beat. And I feel like a lot of music nowadays goes towards just the beat and that's fine for certain situations, but I think we underappreciate all of the hard work that goes into creating songs and the little tiny things you don't notice when it's just on in the background.
Yeah.
And so I've been really doing the same of just like tuning more into the music and active listening. Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually do have a record player. So it's so wonderful. And I can put on Prince Purple Rain anytime and listen to that whole album, and it's an experience. And like you said, in the age of being able to download that song that you want like this, why would you experience the rest of the album if and so it is a lost art. Yes. Yeah.
If you had to pick one decade of music to listen to for the next 20 days, what decade would you pick? That's a tough one. I'm sorry.
Ouch.
I've always said that I'm a very 60s through 80s kind of gal. But also at the same time, I listen to a lot of playlists.
I have found it interesting as of late that some of the music that has come out, because I voice track a radio show for a top 40 station. So I've been, hearing a lot of the newer music that's coming out. And it's even the 21 Pilots latest song. There's like this going back to this 80s feel. It's it's getting kind of retro. And I'm always curious to watch what music does when we're in these times that are definitely, going to be marked and talked about as history someday, and what the music was doing at that time. Do you feel like that is something that affects you when you are, working on creating?
Well, I must say, I for the last 2 days have been unable to write anything except for what is relevant. And I feel like I am just using privilege to ignore it if I'm not. And I don't think that I like right now, my brother and I have just been working on a song that just talks about what's going on. And I don't think I see enough white artists really talking about it in their music. So with, and it's more than just what's going on to like this week in its heightened climax that everyone's seeing it. It's everything that's not talked about. And it even goes beyond just that, all of the inequalities that numerous groups of people go through. And I think for me personally, going forward, I have the ability and responsibility to discuss things that matter to me and matter to hundreds of millions of people I don't and I will never meet. And so I can write the love songs and the songs about breakups and all that stuff that everyone's heard before. And I'm going to release music that has those themes in them, but I'm also not going to just stick to that. I think I have something powerful to say, and there are many voices that are not being heard. And if I can do what I can to bring those voices forward and up, then I'm going to do that, because that's the kind of person I've been raised to be.
Yeah. You are an amazing woman.
Well, I'm excited to hear what comes of this, especially, having this time with your brother and your family who are also musical to really see what comes from your heart. And you still don't have, like you made mention of Locke and Key earlier, that obviously there's no plan for what to do. I don't think anybody has a plan yet on how to go back to work safely.
Yeah. My friend, Jesse Camacho, who actually did.
We had Jesse on the show.
Yeah.
He's great. Guy. Yes.
He's one of my best friends. He sent me a link about Manitoba reopening for production. I haven't read it yet, I'll be honest. But apparently, from the headline, they figured something out. So
good.
There's been a lot of discussion because everyone's going through these shows so quickly that they're expecting, like, come on, where's the next season? I'm like, we're all stuck too. What do you expect us to do?
Right.
But when they called us about the second season, they did say they were hoping to aim for fall.
So I asked Jesse this question as well, so I'm going to throw it at you. If you could see your character go any direction you wanted to, where do you want her to go?
Oh my God, what did Jesse say?
He said he wants to get all buff and which key did he want to be?
He talked about there's some key, that will turn him like super badass. Yeah.
Yeah, he's told me that one before. We've also joked about Eden killing Doug somehow, like trying to get information out of him, and I'm like, I don't want to kill you, and he's like, yeah, but it'd be great. I'm like, but then you're out of a job. I don't want to do that to you.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly. In
the
the
prequel.
Eden, God, there are so many ideas, and I feel like getting up hopes for some crazy thing that I've imagined is just going to be drowned out by the crazy ideas of Meredith and the all the writers. But I mean,
seriously, her character can go anywhere at this point.
Yeah.
Right now. I feel like everything's just wide open for her.
She could go really smart and really nice, and she could go completely reckless and way worse.
Yeah.
And I don't really I don't care which one.
Either one would be fun to play.
Yeah. It just gives me this opportunity to really, dive into something and challenge myself as an actor. And I have absolutely no idea. I have a few up in the cloud ideas, but the whole team, Meredith Averill and Carlton Hughes and all the writers, like we went to go visit them when we were in LA after the premiere in February. And we went into the writer's room to all say hi and give them hugs, and they ushered us out of that room so quickly. Like, get out. So oblivious. I was just like, people. And meanwhile, there's walls of information that Jessie apparently was like. And so they were
Did you see that?
I didn't see anything except for like Eden demon fun, that's
yes.
Yeah, there's gonna be so much that's gonna go on in the second season. I'm just excited to see what they get us up to, because it's going to be crazy, and it's probably going to be much darker than the first season, because usually I don't know that, don't quote me on that, but
but I could see
usually
that
with Netflix, they have to kind of edge into the water, like really slowly, unless it's like specifically like that. But with a show like this, where the demographic and like the audience age range is so vast, they need to kind
50 years old, love it.
Exactly. It's crazy. A lot of my mom's friends, she's 60, she has a bunch of friends who watched it and loved it. And I had a lot of friends my age who loved it as well, and people who were skeptical at first, and I was like, oh, watch it, go. And then they were like, oh, you're right, it was really good, we loved it. So next season, like the Stranger Things franchise went, like they started out kind of, a little bit held back, and then they really threw it at you.
Yes.
So I do have one more question for you, and then I will stop bombarding you with questions.
No
because I am the #1 Locke and Key fangirl of the age of 50. I'm just putting that out there.
Yes,
So when I watch, I'm a huge paranormal nut. It's my obsession. It's my addiction. So I want to ask you your thoughts on the paranormal, and if you've ever had any paranormal experiences.
I totally am a believer that there are energies in the world that we can't explain or fathom because of the dimension we live in. And I totally believe that it wouldn't be a thing if it hadn't been experienced. And I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to talk to it.
That's my job.
I'm not going to provoke it. I'm not going to go anywhere near it, because I am not a horror person at all. And I'm not about to start seeing demons in my bedroom. A different story. Hallea, totally not about it. But I have never personally experienced anything like that. My uncles have this really old Victorian house that they've completely renovated, and there was one room in that house I never liked going into, and it just sent a shiver down my spine. And it ended up that the family had, of course, died, and they had been like, of course, every old Victorian house had that. They're running through the walls, right? But they had laid out the family for a funeral or whatever in that one room, and I was like, that's why. And
that's the death room.
The stories they've told us of like when they were renovating, the energies had really started messing with them, like candles going across the room, and it was crazy. And so they actually sat down one night, lit some candles, and were like, hello, ghost. We come in peace.
Yes.
We don't want to hurt you. We don't want to just like upset you. We're just here to make this house livable, and, you know, so more families can come through and, you know, bring joy and all this stuff. And yeah, there have been a lot of stories. So I don't have the right to displace that and say it's not real, because
right.
if other people, you know what, there are, like I said, energies beyond our understanding that we will never understand, and we shouldn't try to understand. Just leave them be.
Yeah,
I'm going to understand them, but I'm very respectful.
Go for it, girl. Go for it.
Yeah.
Don't bring me into it.
The difference between you and Kitsie is that you're like, ew, I don't like the energy in that room. I'm not going in there. And Kitsie's like, that's the room I'm going in. Let's do it.
And I find out their names and they tell me their story. And my view on paranormal is actually lovely. I don't think there are demons crawling the earth. I think if you're an asshole in life, you're going to be an asshole in death. And you just got to deal with them like you would a person. Have conversations with them, open up to them, and they'll open up to you, and you can figure out the situation. Not that you wanted to hear that, but that's my whole outlook on it.
No, you know what? I have to say I totally agree with that, because I think the energies that I'm talking about are largely, if not completely, the souls that we have within ourselves, and they haven't found their hosts in some way, and they're maybe stuck in the in-between or whatever it is, and we're able to access some parts of those energies. And I think if you have good intentions, they understand that, because they can feel other energy souls.
Yes.
And so
1,000,000%.
I think, and not to say that you don't have a good energy soul, but you're open to the other energies. And
it just flew right over my head. I didn't even catch that.
You're like, yes. No, I think that if you're open to it and you're saying, hi, I want to talk, I want to connect with you, like that's fine. I think people who are trying to provoke it deserve what's coming for them.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And I think that's something that, as humans, especially in the 21st century, bombarded by information all the time, we aren't always able to get down to our core levels and our the energies that we have inside us that we've completely disassociated with over centuries of just like how humans have evolved. I think some people are more in tune than other people, and that might be why some people are able to connect with those energies easier than some other people. So that's just
Girl, you are an old soul.
Yes,
you get life. I love you.
I don't know who's in here, but
she sounds fabulous to me.
I'm trying to figure her out. So yeah. I've been reading this book quickly, and it's called Seed of the Soul, but also, and it discusses how we are just, our bodies are the five senses, and our personality are the five senses, and then the multi-sensory part of ourselves is what we're disconnected from largely. And so if we, through spiritual awakening, meditation, whatever it is, are able to connect with that multisensory self, that can open us up to understanding why we are who we are and what our purposes are. And I truly believe that souls are really just energies on a journey to better understand the universe. And we, as humans, don't have enough time, and we aren't able to connect completely. So that's why when we pass, they pass on to the next to keep on growing. And souls really are just, they're positive love and energy.
I'm so adopting you, by the way. You are my adopter.
You are officially a kind of nerdy girl. Like, we're just gonna send you the Zoom link every time that we get together. Like you are in the group.
Yeah. I love chatting about this stuff, and I don't find enough people who are willing to like accept different points of views and think about the weird and think about the different and question it, and then adopt different understandings and theories and
be okay. My life.
You know, it's so cool. Yeah, I love that. And I just felt like as soon as I got on this call, I was like, they're open to talking about stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're my kind of people. It's
Yeah.
not
It's
about
a different
anything.
level of cool. Yes, absolutely. And I cannot say how much I love your hair like this. I'm just putting that out
it's
there.
really great.
Thank
Will
you
they-
so much.
Will they in season 2 of Lock and Key? Are they going to make you like get extensions, or are you in trouble for doing this? Do you know?
You have plenty of time to grow it out, honestly.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
might.
We were originally going to start filming in May, so I would have had to deal with the short hair. But I did message Meredith, and I was like, "Hey, is it okay if Eden Hawkins has short hair next season?" And she said, "Yeah." So
Was that before or
Pardon?
after you cut your bangs?
that was before.
But
Those bangs are hot. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
they're gonna definitely grow out by the time that we get to filming season 2. But honestly, it's gonna have so much time pass between the seasons that everyone's gonna change in some way. Like
Yeah.
Jackson,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? That kid has like size 12 feet. He's gonna be like up here. He's not gonna be short. His voice is gonna be like
Oh.
down here.
Oh, that's
So
true.
That's
Oh, my
what
heart
we
is
were worried
breaking.
about. Yeah, what can you do?
Right.
You
Stop a
can't.
12-year-old from growing. Like
Right.
he's gonna
Yeah.
grow.
Well, and
So,
that's interesting.
know.
I wonder if they're, I mean, they have to be thinking about that as the writers about like, maybe we had a plan for the story to be here, but now it has to be here because look at it.
Yeah.
You know?
I
And
didn't
then-
even think of that.
Let's just add in another whammy for this whole thing. When the characters turn 18, they can't acknowledge magic or remember it.
Oh, yeah.
I am covered in goosebumps right now.
What are they gonna do?
Man, I need to watch this show.
Yeah.
Yes, John, I've been telling you.
Yeah, it's a huge part of the book that they need to discuss. I mean, that's why the father,
The uncle didn't
Ellie,
remember things,
he
right?
didn't remember it, but the father and Ellie had I keep on thinking Bill Heck. Rendell,
Oh, they had, yeah.
Rendell and Ellie had the marks on their chest. Oh, wait. Well, if someone read the book, they would know this, but from being able to remember, because that's the only reason. Oh, wait, they do say that in
They
the
did show it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only reason that they can remember is because they have a key that specifically lets them remember. So I'm wondering how long Eden's gonna last, because you gotta kill a demon you gotta kill the person to get, oh my God.
Oh,
But
They need to kill her
so
fast.
we're really stressing you out now.
She was definitely an asshole in life.
yes, she might not deserve to get that key to remember everything. She might not want to. Yeah, so there's a lot of implications with the timeline. I'm curious, will they film season 2 and 3 back to back? Will we get a season 3? Like, there's a long lineup
Yeah.
of shows that need to be filmed that have second seasons, and it's an organizational nightmare. It's a scheduling nightmare.
can't imagine.
Yeah.
So, like, we only have so many lots to film on, and we have so many productions. And quite honestly, I think Toronto is going to become, or not Toronto specifically, but Canada as a whole is going to become a huge filming hub, because the States aren't going to open to that soon. No. It's going to be
We're
us.
a hot mess express.
We know how to
Mess.
stay inside. We listen to our parents.
thing.
I might be part Canada.
Yeah, but I think that Canada is going to see a huge, it's honestly never been a better time, I think, once this all starts out, to be a Canadian filmmaker and an actor and in this industry, because I mean, the likes of James Cameron, he's Canadian. He's going to bring his films, if he does any, he's going to bring them to Canada. And they're not going to fly over American actors. They're going to have to hire in Canada. And the auditions I have gotten, for some reason, during this time have been stated in bold red highlight saying, must be Canadian citizen. So I see that as a ding, 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 winning opportunity.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But like, a lot of our cast is from America. So we don't really know what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
it's all up in the air what's going to end up happening in the long run. And we can only really wait it out day by day and just hope that something is figured out. I'm sure a lot of meetings like this are happening, being like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What do we do? And yeah, we just need to wait and hope that Jackson doesn't grow anymore.
Right? So producer Jonna spends a lot of her days watching the Hallmark Channel, watching the Christmas movies, and
Canada.
yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Yes.
90% of everything I watch is in Canada, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we've gotten that tag of being Hallmark stuff. And
That, though.
I was curious about how Locke and Key would do, and I was pleasantly surprised when it was so well done, because I mean, that's, I guess, my oversight of what we're actually capable of, but as America's little sister or whatever, and trying to do what the big kids are doing, when really we have fantastic filmmakers, and just unfortunately Hallmark has become the hallmark for that.
Well, and CW. You have all the CW shows as well, I believe, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those.
Yeah. Oh,
We have to talk about the CW shows. They're the best.
Why don't you want to
Okay,
talk
I did
about
something wrong. I'm sorry.
We need to
You know
know.
what?
We need to know what we did wrong here.
I mean, yeah, some of them are good. I think that, we got to move towards maybe some writing. I have to say right now, I got to save my butt.
Oh dear.
No bad somethings for the cast of Riverdale. They're doing their job, but grade 12ers don't look like that.
I wish they did when I was in grade 12. It would have been totally different.
Yeah, and it just creates this false understanding for young kids to think that they're supposed to have a six-pack in grade 12, and that can create a lot of really bad psychological problems for many kids all over the world. And I mean, at the same time, like Locke and Key, I mean, I'm 22, I'm playing high schooler, but we don't dress like we're 25,
No,
and like a lot of
absolutely.
us are older because it allows us to take on the hours and whatnot. Because if you're under 18, like Amelia was dealing with that, where she had to have her mom, and then she had a pumpkin time, and she had a specific time that she had to get off set, and it didn't matter. You did that. So with being an older cast, we have this ability to stay longer and whatnot. But at least we look like high schoolers.
Exactly.
I just think this false sense of reality, that it's just kind of blows it out of proportion and really instills a lot of body image issues and many other issues that I think.
In my defense, I've never seen Riverdale.
I haven't
I
either.
was thinking Supernatural and Arrow.
Listen, Canada gave us Schitt's Creek. Everybody
Yes.
should just be like,
Amen.
So good.
right? Oh my gosh. I finished it. I finished it last night, and then
Ready.
watched the after show with the
I haven't seen the last season. Earbuds off.
I
I'm not
haven't
gonna
seen any of the seasons, but I want to
Okay.
watch them. My parents did. So
Okay, it's so fantastic, and my husband and I were just sitting together sobbing last night over this
I've heard some
show.
really good things about Schitt's Creek. My mom loved it.
We can definitely tell that you're one of our people, and
Yeah,
so
girl.
that means that you've got us cheering you on. So please let us know
Yay.
as you're putting music out, different projects that you're doing. Please, you have a place in our community
Thanks.
now, and we will cheer you on and lift you up as much as we can.
Locke and Key season 2.
Yeah.
And all the information to keep up with my world of craziness will be on my Instagram, Hallea Jones, and Twitter, Hallea Jones. And other than that, I'm proud to be a kind of nerdy girl. Thank you so much.